A cry in the garbage. It was a cold and quiet night in the city. The streets were empty. Most people were sleeping in their warm homes. Only a few lights were on in the tall buildings. In the middle of the night, something strange happened. Behind Building 12, there was a small, dirty alley. No one ever went there. The place was full of garbage, old boxes, broken bottles, and a few rats. But tonight, something else was there. A soft cry came from a pile of trash. It was not a cat. It was not a baby. It was something different. David, a 35-year-old janitor, was working the night shift in Building 12. He was a quiet man. He didn't talk much, but he had a kind heart. He always helped stray animals and fed birds in the morning. David was cleaning the floor near the back door when he heard the sound. Wah-a-a-a-a. W-a-a-h-h. ... He stopped and listened carefully. Sounds like ... a baby, he whispered. He grabbed his flashlight and walked to the back door. The wind was cold, and the alley smelled bad. He pointed his light toward the trash pile. The sound came again, louder this time. Wah-a-a-a-h-h-h ... David moved closer. The garbage bags were shaking. One of them moved. He slowly opened the bag with a stick. What he saw inside made him step back. In shock, a small creature lay inside. It was a baby, but not a human one. It had smooth gray skin, long fingers, and large black eyes. Its body was thin, and it looked sick, but it was crying, just like any other baby would. David looked around. No one was there. No cameras. No people. Who would throw a baby here? He said out loud. He stared at the little creature. It looked at him too. Its eyes were full of pain. ... and fear. David took a deep breath. Then he did something strange. Something most people wouldn't do. He removed his jacket and gently picked up the alien baby. It was cold and weak. It stopped crying when he held it close. "Don't worry, I got you," David whispered. He took the baby inside the building and wrapped it in a warm towel. He gave it some warm milk from the break room. The baby didn't drink it at first. Then, slowly, it started to sip. "You must be starving," David said softly. The baby looked into his eyes. For a moment, it felt safe. Far above Earth, in the dark space, a small alien ship floated near the moon. Inside it, a woman-like alien stood in front of a screen. Her skin was the same gray color. Her eyes were big and tired. She was watching Earth. She was watching her baby. "Forgive me," she said in her own language. "This was the only way to save you." She placed a hand on the screen where her baby's image showed. "Please ... survive." Back on Earth, David didn't know who the baby was or where it came from. But he knew one thing. It needed help. He took it home in a backpack, careful not to be seen. Inside his small apartment, he made a soft bed using blankets and pillows. The baby looked around slowly, its large eyes following the light on the ceiling. David smiled. "I guess you're not from around here," he said. The baby made a small sound. Not a cry, more like a chirp. "Okay, little guy ... or girl. We'll figure this out." He sat on the floor, watching the baby sleep. Outside, the night was still dark. But something had changed. Far away, deep in space, another signal lit up. A light blinked inside the alien ship. The mother looked up. A red warning showed. "Signal detected. Location, Earth. Status, exposed." She closed her eyes. "Others would come now. Hunters." But David didn't know that. He only knew that tonight, he had found something special, something important, and he had made a choice. He was going to protect it, no matter what. The sun was not up yet, but David was already awake. He sat on the floor of his small apartment, watching the little creature wrapped in his old blanket. The alien baby slept peacefully now. Its chest moved up and down slowly. Its skin looked dry, and its small hands twitched in sleep. David rubbed his tired eyes. "What did I bring home?" he whispered. But deep inside, he already knew the answer. Something not human, something lost, but something alive. And that was enough. He stood up quietly and walked to the kitchen. He had no idea what alien babies ate. Last night, the baby drank a little milk, but not much. It needed food. Real food. But what kind? He opened his fridge. Eggs, bread, old cheese. Nothing special. "You need more than this," he muttered. He grabbed a spoon and gently tried feeding the baby warm mashed bananas. The baby tasted it, then turned its head. Its lips curled in confusion. Then, for a moment, its skin flashed light blue. It wasn't crying, but it wasn't happy either. "Okay, Not bananas. David sighed. He tried honey water. The baby sipped, paused, then sipped again. Its chest glowed, just for a second. With soft blue light, David smiled. That was a good sign. Guess you like sugar, he said. Hours passed. David didn't go to work. He called in sick. He spent the day searching online. Weird creature found. Alien baby signs. What do aliens eat? And even what to do if you find a space baby. But none of it helped. Most people would have called the police, or the government. But not David. You're not a thing, he said to the baby. You're a child. The baby began to move around more in the blanket. Its head lifted. It looked at the light bulb above with big black eyes. It blinked, then looked at David. And then it made a sound. Not a cry, not a word, just a small, soft coo. David's heart softened. It sounded just like a newborn human child. Innocent, curious. He moved closer. The baby reached out with long, thin fingers and touched David's hand. A small jolt, like static electricity, passed between them. For a moment, David saw something. A flash. A dark place. A metal floor. A tall gray alien woman, running with the baby in her arms. Doors, closing, sirens, fear, then nothing. He gasped and pulled his hand away. The baby looked at him, calm and blinking. Did you show me that? He asked. The baby tilted its head. David wasn't sure what just happened, but it didn't feel dangerous. It felt like a message. You're scared. You were running. You were left behind. He looked at the baby for a long moment. You're not lost, are you? You were hidden. Later that evening, as the city buzzed outside, something strange happened. David was washing dishes when his TV suddenly turned to static. The lights flickered. His phone screen lit up without being touched. A small glowing symbol appeared, a circle with 3 lines inside. Then it vanished. David looked at the baby. It was awake, eyes glowing softly. Its chest glowed again, this time brighter. The same symbol appeared for a moment over its heart, like a hologram. David's blood ran cold. That wasn't random, he whispered. That was a signal. Far above Earth, in a hidden satellite, a red light blinked. A robotic voice spoke in a quiet alien tongue. Biosignature confirmed. Child located. Earth sector. Signal locked. And then, silence. Back in the apartment, David gently picked up the baby. You're in danger, aren't you? He said softly. Someone's looking for you. The baby looked into his eyes again. For a moment, David felt something. Like trust. Like a silent thank you. He nodded. Don't worry. I've got you. That night, David placed the baby in a basket lined with towels. He drew the curtains, locked the doors, and slept beside the basket on the floor. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but he had made a choice. This baby was no longer alone. Far away, inside a hidden ship near the edge of the solar system, the alien mother received the same signal. Her hands shook. They found her, she whispered, her eyes filled with sorrow and fear. But someone touched her signal. A human, someone. Kind. She opened a hidden drawer and pulled out a small silver blade. If they come for her, I will come for them. Back on Earth, David slept with one hand gently resting near the baby's basket. Outside, the wind howled. But inside, something strange and powerful was growing, something the universe had never seen before. A bond between a human and an alien child. A storm rolled across the sky. Thick clouds covered the moon. Rain tapped softly on the windows of David's apartment. Inside, the air was warm, and the lights were low. The alien baby, now wrapped in a soft blue blanket, lay quietly in the basket. David stood by the window, staring into the night. He hadn't left the apartment in 2 days. His world had changed completely. The baby, he started calling her Luma, was no longer weak. She was eating better, sleeping more, and making strange little sounds. Her skin, once dry and pale, now glowed gently when she was calm. When she was scared, it turned darker. But David noticed something else too. Every time Luma cried or got excited, strange things happened. Once, the microwave turned on by itself. Another time, the lights flickered when she sneezed. And just last night, his phone showed strange symbols again. Circles, stars, and lines. You're not just different, David whispered to her. You're special. He needed answers. He couldn't go to the police. They'd take her away. He couldn't trust the internet either. Too much noise. Too many lies. But there was one person. A man David knew from his night shifts. Someone who once told him, if you ever find something not from Earth, come find me. That man's name was Eli Voss. Eli lived in the old part of the city, above a dusty bookshop that sold maps of fake planets and real alien bones. People laughed at him, called him crazy. But David knew better. He wrapped Luma carefully in a blanket and carried her in a gym bag, with small holes for air. The baby stayed quiet, as if she understood this was important. Eli opened the door in 1 second. David, at my place, that's a first. David didn't waste time. You told me once, if I found something strange. Eli's smile vanished. You brought something. David stepped in. He placed the bag gently on the couch and opened it. Luma blinked up at the ceiling. Her eyes caught the light and reflected it like mirrors. Eli's face turned white. Dear God. He leaned closer, not scared. Curious. She's Relorian. I've only seen drawings. I thought they were extinct. David frowned. What's a Relorian? Eli didn't take his eyes off the baby. Old, race, advanced, peaceful. But they disappeared after a war between star clans. Most people think they were wiped out. David looked down at Luma, now slowly blinking. She was abandoned, in the trash. I found her 2 nights ago. Eli touched the baby's hand gently. No, she was hidden. He looked at David. Do you know what this means? If she's alive, someone will come for her. Just as Eli said that, all the lights in his apartment flickered. His computer turned on by itself. A black screen appeared. Then glowing white letters filled it. Signal detected. Earth Sector 9. Biosignature active. Tracking begins. The message vanished. Eli stepped back. That wasn't her doing. That was from them. David felt his chest tighten. Who's them? Eli walked to a drawer and pulled out a thick folder, marked Black Sun Protocol. Hunters, alien bounty groups. They find survivors like her, and erase them. Why? David asked. Eli looked at him grimly. Because if Relorians return, they threaten the balance of power. Some species want them gone forever. David looked at Luma. She was looking at him, quiet, calm, trusting. That night, David stayed at Eli's apartment. Luma slept between them on a soft cushion. David sat beside her, not closing his eyes. She's just a child, he whispered. Eli nodded. Yes, but a child of a powerful legacy. Lightning flashed outside the window. In that moment, David made another decision. Then, I'll protect her, no matter what it takes. Far above the earth, a dark ship moved through the clouds without sound. Its skin shimmered like black glass. No lights, no engines, just a smooth, endless shape. Inside, a figure in armor stared at a glowing red map. Luma's signal blinked like a pulse. The figure touched a screen. Target found. Prepare for descent. At the edge of the solar system, the alien mother sat, inside her broken ship. Her face was tired, her eyes sharp. The signal reached her now, louder and faster. She clenched her fist. They found her, but she's not alone. She opened a panel and activated her hidden engine. The ship groaned, then moved. I'm coming, my child. Back on Earth, as the night grew deeper, David looked out the window. He couldn't see it yet, but something was coming, and it was coming fast. Rain poured over the city as the night deepened. Thunder rumbled far away. On the rooftop of a tall building, a shadow stood motionless. She wore no armor, no weapons, no helmet. She didn't need any. Her skin was gray like smooth stone. Her eyes glowed faint blue. She was tall, thin, and powerful, and very, very quiet. She was Luma's mother. She had crossed galaxies, risked death, and broken ancient laws to come back here. Not for war, not for revenge, for her child. She knelt down and placed her hand on the wet concrete. A soft hum echoed through the rain. Her fingers glowed. Child, she whispered in her own language. Where are you? A pulse answered her. She closed her eyes. The signal was faint but clear. Alive, safe, nearby. Her face softened for a moment. A mother's relief. But it didn't last long. From the sky, she sensed it. A second signal. Cold, hunting, ruthless. The trackers were here too. Across the city. In a dim apartment filled with old books and blinking machines, David sat with Luma in his lap. She was warm against his chest. Her little fingers curled around his shirt. Eli stood by the window, holding a scanner. The screen showed 2 blips. One pulsing blue, one pulsing red. We've got 2 signals now, Eli said. One is close and strong. David looked down at Luma. Could it be her mother? Eli didn't answer. His eyes stayed on the red signal. Maybe, but we also have them coming. Luma began to glow again. Her chest lit up softly. Then, something new happened. She reached out with one hand toward the window. David turned, and there, across the street, on the rooftop of another building, a figure stood under the lightning dot. The woman. David's breath caught. That's her. Luma made a quiet sound, like a sigh. Not fear. Recognition. The alien mother didn't move. She simply watched them through the glass. Then, slowly, she raised one hand and placed it on her chest. A symbol appeared, the same glowing circle with 3 lines, the one that always appeared on Luma's chest. Luma responded. Her own chest glowed, brighter this time. Blue light filled the room. But before David could open the window, Eli shouted, "Red signal is moving. Fast." They looked up at the sky. Through the rain and clouds, something dark tore through the air like a blade. A ship, black, silent, falling toward the city. Like a hawk, the hunters had arrived. The alien mother turned sharply, her glowing eyes narrowed. She didn't wait. She leaped from the rooftop. 20 meters down. Her feet hit the pavement with a soft thud. She walked straight toward the apartment. Inside, the room shook. The power flickered. Alarms on Eli's scanners screamed. "They're landing on the next block," he shouted. "We have minutes." David looked at Luma. She clung to his shirt, frightened. "We can't run anymore," he said. "They'll find us." Eli reached into a drawer and pulled out a small black cube. "This is alien tech. Hacked it years ago. It can hide signals." For maybe 10 minutes, David took it. But he already knew 10 minutes wouldn't be enough. Then a knock on the door. On the window. David turned slowly. The alien mother stood there, face calm, eyes glowing, hand open. David froze. Eli raised a metal rod in defense. She could be dangerous. David shook his head. She could have attacked already. She didn't. He stepped forward and opened the window. Rain poured in. The alien mother stepped inside. She looked at David, then at Luma, and then she spoke. Not in her language, but in a voice that formed words through his mind. "Thank you." David took a step back. The mother walked forward and knelt beside her child. Luma reached out. Her mother held her gently, pressing her forehead to the baby's. A soft blue light filled the room. Peace. For just a moment. Then the room shook. Again. Eli screamed. "They're here." The alien mother stood, holding Luma now. Her eyes burned bright. David faced her. "What do we do?" She didn't speak. Instead, she turned toward the window. The enemy was close. She passed Luma back to David, then stepped outside into the storm. Down the block, the black ship opened. 2 tall armored figures stepped out. Their eyes glowed red. No words. No questions. Only weapons. But they were not fast enough. The alien mother moved like wind. She appeared between them, arms glowing, voice loud and sharp. One blast of blue energy knocked the first to the wall. The second raised a blade. But she caught it midair and shattered it with her bare hand. Lightning flashed across the sky. The mother stood tall, rain falling over her glowing skin. She turned back toward the apartment and sent one final message: "Run." Inside, David didn't wait. He grabbed Luma, nodded to Eli, and ran for the back exit. Far behind them, the sound of battle exploded through the night. The mother was fighting alone for her child, and the storm raged on. The alley behind Eli's apartment was dark, soaked with rain. Pipes leaked, rats ran across puddles, and a dumpster creaked in the wind. But David didn't stop. He held Luma tight against his chest. She was quiet, her small head resting under his chin. Her glow was faint now, almost gone. Eli followed close, carrying the black cube that hid Luma's signal. His eyes kept scanning the rooftops. "We need to disappear," he said. "They won't stop now." Behind them, the sound of battle had faded. No screams, no blasts, just rain. David didn't say it, but his heart was heavy. She stayed behind. To save us. They reached a back door to an old warehouse Eli used for storage. He punched a code into a metal panel. The door opened with a hiss. Inside, it smelled of oil and rust. There were boxes, old tech parts, and thick blankets. It wasn't safe, but it was hidden. They placed Luma on a folded sleeping bag. She didn't move much. Her glow was dim. David knelt beside her. "You okay, little one?" Luma opened her eyes slowly. A tear rolled down her cheek. She missed her mother. Hours passed. The storm moved on, leaving the city wet and cold. David stayed close to Luma, feeding her drops of honey water. Eli adjusted wires and checked the cube. The signal stayed silent for now, but something didn't feel right. They stopped chasing us too easily, Eli said. It's quiet. Too quiet. David nodded. They're hunting smarter now. From the shadows. He was right. 2 streets away, a cloaked figure stood on a rooftop, watching through a red visor. Its armor was black, built for silent killing. A second figure crawled across the wall like a spider, claws digging into brick. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. They were shadow hunters, designed for tracking, striking, and vanishing. Their target was near, and tonight, they would strike. Inside the warehouse, Luma suddenly sat up, her eyes wide. Her skin flashed red. David rushed to her. What is it? She pointed to the door. Her voice finally came, soft and shaky. Danger. David turned. He didn't hear anything. But then, a sound. Just a faint click, like a knife sliding out of a sheath. Then silence. Eli moved fast. He threw the black cube into the corner. It exploded in a bright flash, sending out a false signal to confuse the trackers. We have 30 seconds. Run. David grabbed Luma and dashed through the side exit. Eli followed, tossing a smoke bomb behind them. The smoke spread fast, but the hunters were faster. One shadow dropped from the ceiling in front of them. Its blade swung low, aiming for David's legs. Luma screamed, and something happened. The space around them bent just slightly, and the hunter's blade stopped mid-air, frozen in time. David stumbled back, holding Luma tightly. Her chest glowed white now, a new color, brighter, stronger. Eli stared, stunned. She just stopped. Time. Luma breathed hard, eyes glowing. The hunter's body cracked. Its armor broke apart, falling to the floor like sand. Another hunter lunged from behind, claws aimed at Eli. But David didn't think. He turned, shielded Eli with his body. Just as the claws came close, Luma raised one hand. A pulse of energy burst from her palm. No sound, no heat, just light. The second hunter flew backward and hit the wall with a crunch. It didn't get up. Silence. Only the sound of Luma breathing. David dropped to his knees, still holding her. She was shaking, her body warm and glowing. I'm sorry, she whispered. David kissed her forehead. You don't have to be. Outside, more shadows approached from the rooftops. A squad, bigger, meaner. They'd seen what she could do. Now she was not just a target. She was a threat. But then, a blast of blue light tore through the sky, hit the street with a roar, scattering the shadows. From the dust, she emerged as the alien mother. Her skin burned with energy, her eyes wild with fury. She had survived, and she was done hiding. She joined them at the warehouse steps. She didn't speak. She didn't have to. Luma looked at her and cried out, Mama. The mother rushed forward, falling to her knees, holding Luma tight. Their lights blended blue and white, swirling together in a soft hum. Eli whispered, They're bonded again. Fully. David nodded, watching. But the moment didn't last long. The mother stood and looked at David. Her voice echoed in his mind. She cannot stay hidden anymore. They'll send more, Eli said. We've made too much noise. The mother looked up at the sky, then down at Luma. Then we stop hiding. In the distance, engines roared. War was coming, and Luma was ready. Morning light crept into the broken warehouse. It was quiet now. No hunters, no sirens, only the soft sound of Luma breathing. She slept in David's arms, wrapped in a thick gray blanket. Her chest glowed a soft, peaceful blue. For the first time in days, she wasn't afraid. The alien mother sat nearby, silent and still, watching her child. Her face was calm, but her eyes told another story, heavy with pain, memory, and love. David finally broke the silence. She saved us last night, again. The mother nodded slowly. She is becoming what they feared she would. David looked down at Luma, then back at the mother. And what is that? She answered with only 2 words. A bridge. Eli, sitting by a stack of broken crates, looked confused. A bridge between what? The mother stood and walked over. She didn't speak with her mouth, but her voice echoed clearly in their minds. Luma is Relorian, and something more. She felt human care, human emotion. She is one of us, and one of you. David's eyes widened. You mean, she's changing? The mother shook her head gently. She's evolving. Luma stirred. Her eyes opened slowly. She looked around, then up at David, she said softly. His heart stopped for a second. It was the first time she said his name. She reached up and touched his cheek with her tiny hand. A warm light passed between them. No pain, no force. Just understanding. Suddenly Luma sat up. Her chest glowed brighter than ever. She pointed toward the wall. They're listening. Eli stood quickly. What? Who? The mother walked over, placing a hand on the wall. Her fingers glowed, and a strange image appeared, floating above the floor. A satellite, orbiting Earth. Watching them. Recording everything. Earth's leaders know now, she said. They've seen her power. David felt a cold weight drop into his chest. Then they'll come for her too. The mother turned to David. You have shown her kindness. Love, that is rare in this galaxy. David shook his head. It's what anyone should have done. The mother's voice grew quieter. No, most would have feared her, or sold her, or handed her over. You did not. You became her father. David looked at Luma again. Her face was soft, but her eyes were deep, too deep for her age. She had seen too much already. Suddenly, the ground vibrated. Eli checked his screen. Military transport. Coming fast. 10 minutes, maybe less. David stood, holding Luma tight. We can't fight them. Not like last time. But the mother shook her head. We are not fighting. Not unless they start it. She looked at Luma and knelt beside her. You must decide now. My daughter. Luma blinked, confused. Decide. What? The mother touched her forehead. To return with me to the stars. Or to stay here, with him. David's chest tightened. Wait, you're giving her a choice. The mother nodded. She is not a weapon. She is a being with a heart. Her path should be her own. Eli stood, amazed. She's just a child. But not like any child you've known. The mother replied. Relorians grow through emotion, not time. Luma looked between her mother and David. Her eyes sparkled full of light and tears. If I stay, she asked, will they hurt me? David knelt beside her. Not if I'm here. She looked at her mother. If I go, will I see him again? The mother's voice cracked, just slightly. No, we will go far, where no signal reaches. Silence fell. Luma stepped back, then forward, then she walked to David, wrapped her arms around his neck. I want to stay. The mother closed her eyes. A single tear rolled down her cheek, glowing blue. Then I will stay near, in the stars, and watch over you. Outside, helicopters approached. Boots hit the ground. Lights flashed, voices shouted. This is the United Global Response Force. Come out with your hands visible. David opened the door and stepped out, holding Luma in his arms. She didn't hide. She didn't glow. She just looked human. Behind him, Eli and the alien mother walked out slowly. Guns were raised. People shouted. Then everything stopped, because Luma lifted one hand, and the lights around her, even the sun, seemed to grow warmer. Not hot, not dangerous, just peaceful. Soldiers lowered their weapons without knowing why. The commander stepped forward. What is this? David answered calmly. She's not here to fight. She's just a child. The commander looked at Luma. She looked back and smiled. In that moment, something changed. The earth didn't attack, and the stars didn't call her away. Not yet. The sun rose slowly over the city. For the first time in days, it felt like a real morning. No explosions, no shadows, no screaming skies, just light, warm and clean. David stood outside the warehouse, watching Luma draw patterns in the dirt with a stick. She was humming softly. Her skin looked more human now, pale gray with hints of pink. Her eyes, once dark and deep, were bright and curious. She was changing, but the world around her was changing too. Nearby, a row of black trucks sat quietly. Armed soldiers stood by, but their weapons were down. They had seen what she could do, how she disarmed them without pain, without fire. No one had ever seen power like that, used with so much care. Now they were just watching. Waiting. Eli walked over, holding a tablet. Global Council has called an emergency meeting. They're asking questions. David raised an eyebrow. Good questions or bad? Eli shrugged. Some want to study her. Some want to protect her. A few still want to remove the threat. David clenched his fists. She's a child. Yes, Eli said, but she's also history's biggest what if. Inside the warehouse, the alien mother stood still, watching from the shadows. She hadn't spoken since Luma made her choice. Her daughter had chosen Earth, chosen the human who fed her, chosen the world that once left her in the trash. It broke the mother's heart, but it also healed something inside her. She has made her path, she whispered. Now the world must decide theirs. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed across the sky. Not thunder, not a ship, but something worse. A deep, mechanical roar. A sound born in war. David turned. Eli dropped the tablet. No, they followed her. From above, a black tear opened in the sky, a rift, and out of it came a war drone. Massive, cruel, built to erase. No soul, no face. Only a single glowing red eye. It hovered over the city, scanning everything. Then it spoke in a voice like static and screams. Relorian signature confirmed. Terminate. Soldiers scrambled. Alarms blared. Missiles locked on. David grabbed Luma and ran for cover. But Luma stopped him. She looked up. Still. I can stop it, she said. David shook his head. No, it's too big. Not with power, with truth. The mother stepped out of the warehouse. She looked up at the drone and raised her hand. She is not your enemy. The drone turned toward her and fired. A red beam blasted the earth. The mother shielded herself, but was thrown back. Smoke rose from the ground. Luma screamed, and something inside her woke up. A wave of light exploded from her chest. Not fire. Not energy. Memory. The entire street froze. And then, they all saw. Not just David. Not just Eli. But every soldier. Every person watching the live broadcast. Every corner of the earth. They saw the truth through Luma's eyes. They saw a dying starship. A mother running. A child crying. Hunters chasing them. They saw Luma abandoned. Not out of cruelty, but out of love. They saw David feeding her. Holding her. Protecting her when the galaxy wanted her gone. They saw hope. And pain. And peace. The drone stopped moving. Its red eye blinked, then dimmed, then powered off completely. It fell from the sky, crashed into the sea. Harmless, the light faded. Luma dropped to her knees. David caught her. You okay? She nodded weakly. I showed them what I felt. The mother walked to her slowly. Wounded, but standing. You did more than that, she whispered. You showed them who we are. Hours later, the Global Council spoke. For the first time, leaders from every nation agreed on something. They called Luma a bridge child, not a weapon, not a danger, but a chance. A connection between two worlds. She wasn't sent to Earth. She was saved by it. Weeks passed. News stories changed from fear to wonder. People stopped calling her alien. They started calling her Luma. David adopted her legally. No one questioned it. Eli became her teacher, building devices to help her control her gifts. The mother, she returned to orbit, watching silently from above. But sometimes, late at night, a blue star would flash in the sky. Just for Luma, she'd smile, whisper, "Good night, Mama," and the world. The world didn't become perfect overnight, but it took one step closer, because a starving child was not thrown away this time. She was held. She was fed. She was loved. And in the end, humanity won. Not with weapons, not with fear, but with kindness.